Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So it's time for our monthly reading. What can you expect in November 2019? Just in case some of you have come across this video at a different time and feel attracted to one of the four options, you can still go ahead and have the reading. Just regard it as what to expect in the month ahead of you from the point of view watching the video. So this is just going to be a nice general reading on what to expect. So remember to just adapt what's being said to your personal circumstances and take the information as best suits you. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 as options. I've put the timestamps in the description box and also in the comment section. So once you've made your choice, please go ahead and click on the timestamp and I shall see you at your reading. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, what can you expect in November? So, start at the beginning. Ostara, incubation. Her special place, find your own safe space inside and out. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And finally, the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm going to have to say not much is going to be happening in November for you. It's going to be a quiet month. It's going to be a month where you focus on yourself. You might find that you're a bit more of a hermit, seeking to be quiet and on your own. Then you're not going to be the life and soul of the party. I mean, November's a strange month. I mean, depending on where you are in the world and various celebrations, like in England, in the UK, you know, we have bonfire night, and then there's other sort of celebrations. If you're in America, and I don't know, you'll be having Thanksgiving, and so there might be more sort of regional celebrations that you do depending on your faith or your culture, but mainly for particularly like most of the northern hemisphere, November's the quiet month before the big month of December, where there's a lot going on around Christmas. So you might just find that it's a month where you keep your money. I mean, when you look at this card, Seven of Pentacles, it's an abacus of skulls. It reminds me of counting the pennies, which November can be, where maybe you'll make a decision not to go out as much, not to spend as much money, because you'll need some cash for Christmas presents. Or you might start buying them. You know, if you haven't got much money, you have to prepare these things way in advance. And, you know, trickle buy presents as you can afford to in different paydays. So, yeah, you might find that you don't spend much, you don't go out much, that you prioritise other things, because there's this sense of incubation, that things are being left internalised and quiet and they're just being slowly grown. And it's reiterated in her special place. I think you're just going to be staying in and being quiet. You might have a lot to think about. If there's been lots of action recently in your life, this might be the month where you process it, that you just stay in. And again, the nights are drawing in. In November, you know, in England and in the Northern Hemisphere, it's getting colder and darker. And, you know, the nights are drawing in. So you might be less inclined to stay out if the weather's poor, you know, bad weather. And that you don't really want to go out about and do it. It just feels like a quiet, staying inside, hermit mode type of month for you in November. In your love life, there's a need for you to love yourself first. So whether you're single or in a relationship, you know, value your own needs. You know, respect yourself. By respecting yourself, it's going to make you more attractive if you're trying to find someone, if you're looking for love. But it's also going to make you more appealing if you are in a relationship, because you're sticking up for yourself. You're not standing for any rubbish. So it's really important in November that you do love yourself, that there's a lot of self-care and a self-love. And if you need to you know, be in a bit or be on your own for a bit, to, you know, fight for that, to demand it even. Yeah, you just really, I mean, it's difficult to give a really detailed reading on a month that seems to imply it's going to be very quiet and introspective for you, but that's basically what's expected for you in November. No surprises, nothing terrible, but nothing brilliant either. I think it's just going to be a month where you have a lot of self-care. So if you want to have nice long baths, read a few good books, watch some nice TV programs and eat good food, do that. There's just this thing of the Seven of Pentacles, of waiting for things to mature and develop and sort of pay off for you. Like you've invested in something and now's the time to wait for it to materialise. And it is, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but that he is a big abacus and he's like counting his skulls. So I think it might be a month where you don't have much spare cash. I mean, for some of you, like me, that's a month anyway for you where you have lots of good things, but maybe not a vast amount of funds in your purse or your wallet. So it might be... it might just be that you're counting the pennies. And if that's the same month as every other month this year, then I'm sorry, nothing much is going to change in November for you. But you'll be all right. December will come. And hopefully lots of brilliant Christmas presents for you. So those of you that chose number 1, that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments section. Please carry on supporting the channel by liking my videos, sharing them and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. But all the best, take care, I'll see you next month. Thank you very much for listening to me and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose option 2, this is your reading. What can you expect in November? Start here. So we've got broomstick clearance, golden gift, magical help is on its way. Lovely. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Nice. And finally, the sun. Oh, you're going to have a great November. Whatever you October's been like, November will be an improvement. I think for a lot of you, it's not been easy recently. It's not been the best. Things have not gone to plan. Things have perhaps even gone the opposite of the way that you intended for them to go. But November's going to bring a change in that, which is, I'm pleased to give you that news. And I think it's because of this clearance. I think you're the one clearing out. I think you're clearing out the things that you don't need or the things that you don't want. I think you've had a recognition that there's been a lot of clutter in your life that you need to sweep out. And it can be anything in your life, whether it's old attitudes, ideas, you keep telling yourself things. I get this feeling that there's been... Because you've been trying so hard for stuff to happen and it hasn't, I think you've been forced to stay optimistic, generally. And, and you have to have the fears and the negative worries and the concerns of failure and all the rest of it in place before you can be optimistic. Being optimistic is, in a sense, a refusal to accept the negative. So well done. I think you've really been focusing on being positive and to sweep out the failure, really. I think you're sweeping out, some of you it's sweeping out people that are no good for you. Getting yourself out of a bad, poorly paid job that's going to lead nowhere, or getting yourself out of a friendship or a relationship or anything that's just not doing you any good. You're swept out. You're sweeping out your life. You're either in the process of doing it or you've actually gone ahead and done that. The things that aren't going to lead anywhere, you've just called time on them. Just said no. And the reward is that the good's coming in. You've got the sun and the golden gift telling you both those things. It's saying magical help is on its way. You're being offered a gift of opportunity, of abundance, of prosperity. So if a lot of you have been really, perhaps applying for a lot of jobs or going on a lot of dates and doing lots of things to reach out and get things, or putting your energies, your intentions out there. There's a feeling now that they're going to come through, that you're going to start getting the attention that you have been trying to get, that you will be, your talents will be recognised, or your qualifications, or anything like that, where you've really, really been struggling against the tide, really trying to make things work, and it hasn't gone your way, but November's going to bring that change. And I think it's all rooted in the broomstick of the clearance. I really get the feeling that a lot of you have just thought, right, this isn't working, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm not spending any more time on it. This route I was taking, these people I was trying to work with to get this project off the ground, it's just not going to work. Anything like that, it's just done. And your reward is to send you sort of the right people, to send the right resources your way. And it's really going to be positive. I mean, November, from my perspective, is the month where things start to go really dark before Christmas, where the nights are drawing in, the leaves are falling off the trees, and it's getting colder. I mean, if you're in the southern hemisphere, maybe for your perspective, the summer's coming. It's coming toward, spring is here, and it's the other way around. But either way, it's good, it's positive, it's sunny. I think you're going to feel really positive, and I think it's because you're being proactive. And that's half the trick, is to actually be proactive and recognise that you need to move forward. And when you move forward, things come to meet you. Now, we've got stay optimistic about your love life. So whatever's going on, whether you're single or attached, stay positive. But I think as well, more generally, it's about being optimistic in your outlook and your personality. It's time to be positive and optimistic. This is going to be a big boon for you in November. It's going to lead a lot of good things coming your way, and that's either in your relationship or in trying to meet someone. Because if you're optimistic, positive, even if things aren't exactly the way you want them to be, if you're positive and optimistic and saying, but things are on the up and they're going to carry on getting better, you're just going to be more attractive, and you're going to attract the right sort of people towards you. And I think you have the wisdom and the experience to recognise that even if you do attract a few people that are not quite the sort that you're looking for, you'll have enough about you to send them away, because you're going to have the confidence to do that. Confidence is ridden right throughout your November. You can expect to be confident and for good things to come your way, and for you to be able to brush out the things that are no good, that you don't want anymore. So this is wonderful. And this is wonderful for those of you that chose number 2. And I'm so pleased to give you that news. So that's your reading. Thank you for listening. Please leave me comments and let me know how your November does go. Please consider supporting the channel in all the usual ways. I've got a Patreon, and I offer private readings, so please check the description box to see if there's anything there that you would like. That will help me. Thank you very much. But I'm going to leave you with that. Please take very good care of yourself. Have a great November, and goodbye. Alright, those of you that chose option 3, this is your reading. What can you expect in November? Right, so we're starting off with Cauldron, Containment. Story Keeper, tell your story. Legacy, write your wisdom. Whoa, very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And the Magician, that's good, that's good. So I think in November, you've got a lot of deciding to do. You've got a lot of thinking to do. There's an implication here that there's a choice for you, or there's opportunities. I've just realised, you probably can hear me better now, that my microphone fell off. So I'm sorry about that. I'll start again, in case all you could hear was this awful muffling. Cauldron, Containment, Storykeeper, you're going to get a month where you've got thinking to do and deciding to do. Because we've got Containment, you've got something that you need to contain within your life. What that is, that could be anything. There's so many of you, hopefully so many of you watching this video. There's something here to be that you are either containing within yourself or that you need to contain. It's not going to do you anything good if this bubble's out of control. You know, the obvious is because it's water in the cauldron that it's your emotions. So maybe there's something you feel passionate about or worried about or even angry about. And there's a sense it just needs to be contained because the balance is right. In the cauldron, the soup is right when the ingredients are added in the right portion, you know, and, you know, the right amount, the right portion, and with the right combination of other ingredients. You put the wrong herb in and it ruins the stew. Do you know what I mean? So there's something potentially that can be missed out of your dish or added inappropriately. So you've got to be very careful about this sense of containment here, and this is why you need to think about things a lot. This is why you need to consider what you're doing, because there's a message here to actually document something, write your wisdom, share your legacy, tell your story. So you're not to be keeping silent, which is weird because actually that's one of the implications about containment in the actual card. But you're not to say everything is what I think it's saying. You've got to be very, very careful about what you share at the moment, what information that you share, more generally, what you document down. It's very, very important. So if any of you are actual writers and you're writing on a project, you might find that in November that it's not necessarily, you know, that things flow easily. You might find yourself editing an awful lot of what you've written, because it's easy to let the words fly and then you go back and you think, oh wow, I've written 100,000 words, and you go back and you realise that you've only written 40,000 good ones, you know, or that, you know, that you've got 40,000 words to edit out because they detract from the story and the characters would never actually do that really. What were you thinking? So there's an element here that if you're creating something or that you're manifesting something, because we have got the Magician, that you've got to be careful what you wish for, what you manifest, you know, what you're asking for. Because again, you've got, you know, we've got very soon, because so there's an implication, you know, because it's the love card, I've put it in there to symbolise your love life. It's saying clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So you can manifest something. You've got the Magician. You can manifest something in November that's very important to you, whether it's something in your love life, your work life, your personal life, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you've got to be careful, because I get the feeling that you can really get what you want in November, but you've got to make sure it's actually what you want, because if you come across and get something that you don't really want, you know, it's going to be a difficult thing to manage in your life. I'm not saying that you're going to, you know, do an immense act of self-destruction, you know, but the warning is that you have powers of manifestation, so be careful what you're asking for, because you could find out that it's not what you wanted at all. So you've got to think and ponder and contain something, and I feel it's a more negative sort of aspect of yourself, you know, aspect of your desires. I don't know why, but I just get the vibe for a lot of you. But, you know, on the positive, I don't think you're going to have a bad month at all. I think that you're going to have immense powers of manifestation. You've got the Magician. I think this is a month where you're going to be able to show off what you're made of, that you're going to be able to show off your tricks, show off your talents. You've got something to present to people, I feel. And I think it's actually something you have created or participated in the creation of. It's something that you... it feels like something to do with books, because of the writing, and she's writing in a book, so it's something to do with books. And I think it's probably going to go really, really well, but you just have to be careful what you do and you say around this project. That's sort of the message. So if there's something that, you know, like you're self-publishing your book, so many people do it now, put it on Kindle, you make sure it's edited properly, that there aren't any silly little mistakes before you launch it, or send it to a potential agent or publisher or something. But you have immense powers, I think, of being able to create what you want in November, which is good. So make very sure you know what it is that you want to create, or what you want to say, or what you want to do. Because you have the ability to come across as really wise. There's something else here I'm just trying to work out what it is. Maybe you're writing a proposal. Maybe it's a job application form, or you're going for an interview. In which case it would be very careful what you write in that, because you want to present the right image. Or a love letter, because, you know, the love. If you're writing a love letter, be very careful about what you write in your love letter, because actually it can really manifest something. You know, whether it's your Tinder bio or something, you know, if you're trying to you know, join a dating agency. Yeah. There's something important about what you've got to communicate in November. You've got to consider everything carefully. And that's what I'll leave you. It depends on what you're trying to do in November. So let me know in the comments section how this works out for you, if it resonates. Please carry on supporting the channel by watching the videos and liking them and subscribing. And there's other avenues for you. I've got a Patreon now and so on. So have a look in the description box there to see if there's anything that you can support me with there. But otherwise, I'm going to leave you with that. Take very good care of yourself. Have a great November. I'll see you next month. And goodbye. Okay, number 4s. What can you expect in November? Right, so let's start off with Wand, Intention. Acorn's Invitation, Touch, Exchange, Connection. It's a sexy card. Honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Okay, that explains. So, and 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Let's get the more unpleasant over with. 5 of Pentacles is just like not having enough money, really. It always comes across to me as not having enough money. So, I said in one of the earlier readings that November can be a thrifty month because you've got Christmas in December. And that can be really expensive. So sometimes we save, we're a bit skimpy and a bit frugal in November in order to get have that bit of extra cash for travel and presents and going out and celebrating Christmas. But I think, I mean, I can't put it any other way, that you just might not have a lot of cash, ready cash to spend over November. If that's something that you just know, that's got a good job and I don't have, you know, I'm not in any debt, I'm not that badly off. It can represent sort of generally in your life that you just feel a bit out in the cold. Like it could be representing that you don't get out that much, or that you're feeling a bit socially isolated. I don't actually feel that this is what's going to happen. You might feel, that you're a bit sort of not in the in crowd, for, you know, the opposite, you know, that you're all right, you've got your own little friends, but you're just not a cool kid. But I don't get that vibe more generally from the rest of the reading. I think for a lot of you it is saying you're just not going to have much spare cash in November. Because we've got the honeymoon card and Acorn's Invitation. So if any of you are planning on travelling in November for whatever reason, I think it's going to wipe you. You're not going to have as much money to spend either when you're away or when you come back, because you've overspent a bit maybe on your travels. But we've got Acorn's Invitation and Honeymoon, which suggests to me that some of you could be on your honeymoon, because Acorn's Invitation is about physical intimacy, basically, with other people, being attractive and making connections with people based on physical desires. Touch exchange connection. So some of you, if you're looking to have a bit of a holiday romance, you can. But obviously be careful, with your own, and always use protection. And to be sensible, especially if you're travelling abroad away from yourself, Sorry, you're going to have to be maternal and motherly here with that piece of advice. But, if you're actually having your honeymoon, you're going to be doing the usual traditional honeymoon activities. So it's probably not got any money because you're just starting out in life together, maybe, after paying for a wedding. But yeah, there's opportunities here for physical affection, and that it's going to be blissful for you. It's going to feel like a holiday. It's going to feel like a break from your mundane, normal life. Possibly one where you don't, you are living with less money rather than more. So there's going to be that contrast. But the big message for you that I'm leading up to with all of those elements is the wand, and that's the intention, is that you've got to be sure and careful with your intentions. If your intentions is to have just a bit of free love, friends with benefits, one night stands, all of that's fine, if you're a responsible adult. But you've got to make sure the other person knows that. And the same vein, if the other person's expecting a bit of friends with benefits, one night stands, a bit of free love, or whatever, no strings attached, and you want to end up going on honeymoon with them, you have to make your intentions known that you're looking for someone to settle down with. It's just feelings here that if you are upfront and honest about what you want, what you desire, short term and long term, and expect the same from them, and say, well, what are your intentions, long term, short term, and you can make and they can make a decision based upon that. So it's sort of implying being honest and setting out your intentions out there more generally in the world for what you want. Because you can expect in November lots of opportunities to have these things. It doesn't mean you have to accept them. If your intentions are, oh, no, I don't want any shallow dating anymore. What I want to do is to find someone to be with. Even though you get lots of opportunities for dating and dates and sexual opportunities, you might say, I'm stepping back from that. My intentions are to have... and by the same vein, if you're thinking, no, I've had a few long-term relationships, so I want to have a bit of fun, you're going to get those opportunities because you're setting out your intentions properly. It's really, really important in November to be clear about things and to go into finding what you're looking for, knowing what you're looking for. But yeah, I think you're going to have an all right month generally. I think actually it's going to be quite exciting. I think there are going to be a lot of opportunities for lots of fun and having a good time, because you've got the honeymoon. As I say, Acorn's invitation, it's about connections with people that are enjoyable and intimate, and lots of connections. So that's really, really good. And yeah, you're going to have lots of fun, lots of relaxing moments. I just get this feeling that you're just going to have to do it on a shoestring. Going to be a bit frugal. But hey ho, that happens to a lot of us. A lot of the time. So don't worry about it. If you're sort of short on funds at the moment, inevitably at some point in the future you will be better on funds. It just works out in a cyclical way. Set out your intentions to get more money. So those of you that chose option 4, that's your reading. Thank you for listening. Please let me know in the comments section if this resonates with you, and please consider supporting the channel in any way you can by subscribing, liking the video, leaving the comments, and I've got all my other links for Patreon and everything else in the description box, so please feel free to have a look there and see if there's anything that attracts your attention. But otherwise, I'm going to leave you with this. Good luck for November. I shall see you next month. Take very good care of yourself, and goodbye.